what they've had some time now to gather their thoughts and now respond to donors who have been publicly pretty frustrated with how things went and even how the money was spent. What do you anticipate to be said in this discussion?
Well, listen, as Ricky Ricardo famously said, Lucy, you've got some splaining to do. We outraised Donald Trump by a wide margin. And then all of a sudden you see stories where there's potential debt issues, where they're still sending out emails asking for money to hold Trump accountable, bizarrely, that is falling very badly. And then you've got stories about how money was spent on various production companies of celebrities. So, I think that they've got to be ready to answer a lot of tough questions, and they've got to be ready for a lot of really angry people who want real answers.
And do they have those answers available to them right now? I mean, do we know?
This is going to be part of a much larger autopsy for the Democratic Party that I hope the Democratic Party undergoes in the wake of this shellacking that we got from Donald Trump. He co-opted our coalition, right? This isn't about money. Ross Perot had all the money in the world. He didn't win. Mike Bloomberg ran for president in 2020, had all the money in the world. He didn't win. At a certain point, money can only take you so far. So yes, let's look at how we spent the money. But when you lose all 7 swing states, when you're chipping away at the Hispanic coalition, at Black men, at young voters, then there's a much larger problem here. So we've got to talk about the candidate and the shortcomings of the candidate, the shortcomings of the messaging. Are we being co-opted by culture wars and wokeness and being dragged to the left by platforms like the New York Times and MSNBC? And so we've got to take a much broader look than just the money. But look, people who gave hundreds of thousands, if not in some instances, millions of dollars to the DNC and to the presidential campaign want answers, and I think that they are deserving of them.
And then it's sort of what the future of the party looks like. There's some talk. Kamala Harris is telling her advisors to keep her options open. Do we see a resurgence of her in 2028, or does she choose a different path? Some of the things we're hearing, possible gubernatorial run in California. What are you hearing, and is it too soon?
It's way too soon.
Yeah.
And the thing that troubles me about Kamala Harris and that Politico story that reported that this morning is, okay, maybe she'll run for governor of California. Maybe she'll run for president again. I still don't know what she stands for, which is part of the reason that she lost. The campaign did not have a message that connected with voters. There was a lack of authenticity. There was a lack of knowing what her policy platform was until it was far too late. And so I think that if she and her advisors right now are thinking about which office she's going to run for again, then they missed the mark, and they're completely losing the lesson of this election, and they've got a lot of introspection to do.
And what do some of the other, emerging political voices on the Democratic side look like to understand that message, and how does it get relayed to the American public?
I think it's way too soon. I think that we've got to focus on who we're going to pick for the DNC chair, because if we pick someone who can control the message, who can reconnect with our coalition, or what used to be our coalition, bring us back to the center, connect with working people, I think that will flow down from the top. So I think any conversation about a horse race right now in November of 2024 about November of 2028 is far premature, and means that we're skipping the crucial step of understanding what went so wrong this time, so that we don't replicate it in the midterms in 2 years.
I also wonder, Melissa, on Capitol Hill, does the fight look different on some big issues politically in the next couple of years?
Listen, I think that Donald Trump believes he got a mandate. He won the popular vote. He won all 7 swing states. You're seeing in his cabinet appointments, despite, some of the reaction in the media about how potentially unqualified or even dangerous some of his selections are, that in the poll that came out over the weekend from CBS, that he actually has a lot of support for a lot of his cabinet picks. The big question is going to be, while he's got both chambers of Congress, the Supreme Court on his side, and it looks like a glide path to a lot of his cabinet picks, what is he going to do with that political capital? And what is he going to choose to focus on coming out of the gate? And at the end of the day, the American public said that they wanted change over and over again. Top issues in poll after poll after poll is inflation that's crushing American families, and the border. So I anticipate coming out of the gate, what is he going to do beyond just saying mass deportations, which is a lot easier as a political talking point than it is to actually, actualize. So it'll be be interesting to see what he does out of the gate, but political capital wanes too.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.